So in today's video, we're going to talk all about how you can go about applying the modes in your playing and how professional musicians use and think about them. Because of all of the things on the internet that us guitarists like to talk about, the modes are one of the things that I most often see poorly explained. I recently did a video all about the modes of the major scale and where they come from. So if you haven't seen that, or if at some point in this video you're feeling confused, feel free to go back and take a look at that video first, as it'll be an excellent primer for everything that we're going to cover today. However, let's dive into how we would actually go about using these. So the first mistake I see a lot of people make when they start learning the modes is that they get kind of obsessed with the parent scale relationship, where they think, I'm going to play E Phrygian over C major, or I'm going to play G Mixolydian over C major. And that's kind of a way to go about it, but it's not really an effective way to go about it, and you're not really going to be saying all that much that's unique or different by using those respective modes. Because if you use G Mixolydian over a C chord, you're really just playing a C major scale but thinking about G. So you're not going to get any crazy interesting notes or kind of really pull out any of the unique flavors that are available to you when you think about applying and playing with the modes. The best thing that you could do if you were playing over a C major chord would be to think about the two major modes that you have at your disposal. So you either have Ionian, which is the normal major scale, or you have Lydian, which is the major scale with a sharp 4. Now the C Lydian mode is derived from the G major scale. And that F sharp is going to be a really, really beautiful and colorful note for us to use. And the cool thing about this, sometimes my students get confused with why we can kind of mix and match this way. And the reason is, if you look at the notes that are available to you, a C major chord is made up of the notes C, E, and G. That's our root, major, third, and fifth. And even if you want to be fancy, if you want to put the major 7 on, you would have the note B. Now, all 4 of those notes are available in each of those scales. So in C major, I have the root, root, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and root. So that I have 1, 3, 5, 7. They're all right there. Now in the Lydian scale, it's the same. I have 1, 2, 3 is a chord tone. Sharp 4, not a chord tone, but it's just kind of a surrounding note. G, there's my 5th, it's there. 6, and there's my major 7. So I often describe the way that this works. The reason you can swap between those two, even though technically you're playing notes from F major over a C chord, from G major over a C chord. When you do this, it's kind of like if you redecorated a room in your house. The room in your house is that major 7 arpeggio. I'm just choosing whether I decorate it with a natural 4th or a sharp 4. And to give you a kind of example of what this might feel like, let me just record a quick little loop here. So if I go, I'm going to play over this with C Ionian at first. So this is the normal major scale. Now I'm going to make it Lydian. They're both perfectly acceptable, and that loop was a little bit loud. I apologize, but they're both that was major. Now here's Lydian. That Lydian is a cool kind of brighter color to it. And again, I always tell my students when we're working on applying the modes to think about them almost like spices in cooking. You need to kind of mess around with them and get a taste for how they feel and how they sound before you can really start working on them. But if you kind of get this concept that you can play either C Ionian or C Lydian over a C major chord, you're already a big step in the right direction to be able to kind of mess with these. Now, if we were to look at playing over C minor, the same rule applies. So if I was looking at a minor, C minor 7, I have my root, my minor third, my fifth, and my minor 7th, or my flat 7th. And that fits 3 different modes of the major scale. So it fits Dorian, which I like to think of as the minor scale with a raised 6. Some people call this happy minor because of that. So I would have C, D, E flat, F, G, A, the major 6th, B flat, the minor 7, and C. So that works great. I could also use C natural minor over a minor chord, or C Aeolian. So that is just the normal minor scale. So we have a flat 3rd, a flat 6th, and a flat 7th. That would sound like this. And then lastly, we would have C Phrygian, which is the darkest and most evil minor scale that we have in our disposal. That is a flat 2, a flat 3, a flat 6th, and a flat 7. So I'm going to play them all back to back for you. I'm going to play Dorian, which is a minor scale with a major 6th. I'm going to play the minor scale, or the Aeolian mode, which is flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. And then I'm going to play Phrygian, which is flat 2, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7. So they'll sound like this. I'll do each of them once ascending and descending, and then I'll do the next one. So starting with Dorian, then Aeolian / minor, then Phrygian. So here is starting with Dorian. So I hope that made the kind of differences between them kind of clear. And now, let me mess around with them over a backing track. So if I went... Okay, so here I'll start with Dorian. Now here I'll go natural minor. Now here, for the final one, let's do Phrygian. Kind of cheated and went up to a higher range of the guitar, but hopefully you can hear that kind of darker, some people call it an Eastern or Spanish kind of tinge to it. So the technique that we looked at today is technically called chord scale theory, and basically what that is it's knowing what kind of scales you can put over different chord types. And the basic premise is, like I said, whether it's a major or a minor or a major 7 or a minor 7, we're looking for scales that fit, that have all the notes of the arpeggio of the chord we're playing in them, and then they kind of decorate them in different ways. So just to illustrate this one more time, I'm going to hold on a sustainer just my normal C major, and I'm going to play you Lydian and Ionian over them so you can kind of hear the difference. So here's just a C chord. Now, if I play over top of this, here's a C Ionian. Here's C Lydian. little bit of just kind of freewheeled improv. I'll go C Ionian to start. Here's Lydian. So again, I would almost think of this like it's a room in your house, you're changing what the decorations are. Now I'll do the same thing with Dorian, Minor, and Phrygian, or Dorian, Aeolian, and Phrygian, if you want to have all of your fancy Greek names. So here's C minor. There's it sustained. Here's C Dorian. So this is only has a flat third and a flat seventh in it. It's got a major sixth. It would sound. Now if I were to do natural minor, and lastly if I was to do Phrygian. Now I'll do the same thing, kind of a freewheeling improv over them. I'll start in Dorian. Here's natural minor. And now Phrygian. So now there's a flat second in there as well. So again, just different flavors available to me while I do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have any questions about anything that I covered, please leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you and try to explain it as best as I can. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. It's one of the biggest things you could do to help out a small YouTuber like me, reach more people, and help my mission to share some, good quality free education on the internet there. If you wanted to take a guitar lesson with me, I have a link to get in touch with me down in the description below. I'd love to work with you on whatever's troubling you on the guitar. If you want to support me in this free educational content that I put out here on the channel, you can subscribe to my Patreon. All Patreon members get early access to my videos as well as cool behind the scenes sneak peeks at music that I'm writing and working on. And it's also just a really cool community of guitar nerds, so we'd love to see you over there. Another great way to support the channel is I do have an ebook full of scale and arpeggio diagrams for sale down below, as well as a video course running you through a whole bunch of triads all around the neck. So that's a great way to pick up some educational content and also help support me in this YouTube endeavor. And last but not least, I've got new videos coming out every single week, so I hope I'll see you in the next one. And until I do, I'll wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.